This video covers how to use the photo player to view photos and see slideshows. There are many ways to start into the player. You can touch the player buttons on the view list here. There'll be a player button for the whole trip. There'll be a player button for any day that has photos, and there'll be a player button for every item that has photos. So we can start at the trip level, like the player. It goes into the player and begins showing the photographs. There's a setting for how long the photographs show, and there's a setting for whether we have the caption at the bottom. You can exit the slideshow at any point. Another way to go into the slideshow to start seeing the player is to go into an item, and in the carousel at the bottom you'll see the photos associated with this item, and you'll see a player button there. If you just touch the photo down here, it brings the photo up in the player paused. If you touch the play button, it brings those photos up in the slideshow button. So those two photos would be the only two photos in the slideshow. So we can go back out and bring up the slideshow at the whole trip level. And you see we're going to see 17 photos. It'll step through the 17 photos of the trip. So touching anywhere on the photo brings up these control buttons for editing and managing the photographs. With these you can quickly control how the photo is used by all the sharing features of Journ. The upper left-hand corner are the starring mechanisms, and the sharing mechanisms of Journ are based on no star, 1 star, and 2 star tagging of photographs. The upper right-hand corner are buttons for changing the order of the photos and running the slideshow. The bottom left is for exiting and bringing up help. The bottom right is for adding photos to the item's photos, either from the camera or from the camera roll. And the bottom bar is called the slide navigation bar, and I'll demonstrate how that works. So we may want the slideshow, in order to be short, to only show photos that have been starred as 2-star, the best photos. And we can touch this button to control that this photo is a 1 or a 2-star. And this button is for the number of stars associated with social emails, and this button is for the number of stars associated with social postings, Facebook and Twitter. The upper left-hand corner is an overriding starring mechanism for this photo itself. So all three of those unique sharing mechanisms can be controlled by touching that button. So now they're all 0 star, now they're all 1 star, now they're all 2 star. This button is for sending an email immediately, right now, of this photograph, with just this photograph. The other sharing features allow you to share the photographs, all the photographs that meet the criteria that we're going to talk about tag-wise, star-wise. But this button lets you send this one photograph right away with the GPS location and the caption if you've defined it. And this button is for sending this photograph right away to Facebook. The upper right-hand corner lets us change the photograph, the order of the photographs. We're changing the one step at a time, forwards and backwards. We can turn on, pause, and resume the slideshow. And we can change the slideshow to be on a map coming up from the location that the photos were taken. It's a toggle. We push that button and the map comes up with thumbnails for where every picture was taken, and the slideshow comes up from that location. At any point in time we can change back to the normal slideshow by touching that button again. When you're paused, you can swipe back and forth to bring up the photographs, to go backwards and forwards through the photographs, and you can zoom in with pinching motions. If we want to add a caption to this, we touch the show and hide caption button and enter the word that we want. And these words, the captions, are used to, in the social sharing features of each way that the photos are included in emails and slideshows and Twitter and Facebook posts. We can add to the items photographs by selecting the camera to take a photograph, or selecting the camera roll to pick one or more from the camera roll. The slide navigator at the bottom allows us to manage the slideshow that's showing. There's 2 dimensions to that. We can show all photos, 1-star photos, or 2-star photos. When we show 1-star photos, we're showing 1 and 2 stars, so you get the better and best photos. The 2-star, you just get the best photos. The next button over is the span of the slideshow. Right now we're at all, so we're seeing all the photographs, 17 photographs in this trip. If we select from all to item, now we're seeing the 3 photographs in the sandwiches item of the trip. That was the date and time shown there. And the arrows to the right and left let us traverse back and forth through the different slideshows that meet that length and span. So now we're looking at the Train to Paris items slides. If I hit the left arrow again, then we go back through the slideshows at the item level. If we select the span button again, we go to day. So now we're seeing Thursday's slideshow, now Friday's slideshow, Saturday's slideshow. And if the trip was sectioned by week or month, that's an option in the settings. Touching this again would go to that next time frame. We're sectioned by day, so it skips over that, and now we're back at the all level, the whole trip. If we change from all stars to 1 stars, we see we still have 17 photos. They're all at least 1 star. And if we hit 2-star, we see now there's really only 3 2-star photos in the whole trip, and we could scroll through those and see them right here.